I'm gonna be telling Cassiel's birth story. So I'm gonna like rewind to a couple days before because it's kind of like a long story. I want to remember all the details. Tuesday, August 29th, there was Hurricane Idalia. I was headed towards Florida. I got the house cleaned up. Our apartment. And I remember thinking, like, just in case, I need to make sure that the house is clean for when I get home, and I need to have the hospital bags packed. So I think the night before, me and Aaron packed, and then I can't remember. Oh, he went to his dad's to change his oil or do something with the truck. So I cleaned up the apartment, locked up, and then went to my parents' house, and then Aaron met me there. Me and Aaron, we hung out with Jessica and Julia. Lauren didn't come, and Olivia didn't come. And my cousin Riley came from Tallahassee, so she was there. So it was just all of us, and then my parents. Frosty was there, just Frosty. So that was the first day, and then we stayed the night. At some point, I think it was when we were going to bed, I had like a really sharp pain in my stomach, and I literally like screamed because it was like this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it hurt, and I was like really freaked out. But then I was like, okay, I guess everything's fine. So the next day, my mom made breakfast for everybody, and I had a bacon and egg English muffin. I wish I could have cheese, but I can't. I'm allergic. Hopefully that changes in 7 years or so. And I said it was really good. I remember it being really good. And then I just said that me and Aaron hung out, and then he had to work that day, and we were both really tired, and I was figured why not take a nap. So I laid down with him and we took a nap. He had to go for work, and then I think I got up and made lunch or something. I said I hung out all day, and then I tried to get schoolwork done because I was in school at this point. I was doing online classes, and it was hard. So lesson learned there. I'll be graduated by the next time I have a kid, but definitely take the semester off. Like, it will not hurt. Take the semester off. That was rough trying to do school with the newborn, but I did it, so we're good. But I was freaked out because everybody was saying that there's something about the moon with the hurricane, that a bunch of women are going into labor. So I was like terrified. There's gonna be a hurricane, I want to get to the hospital, I have to give birth out, no epidural in the bathtub or something like that. So glad that didn't happen. And then I remember that night I went and hung out with Riley, Julia, and Jessica, because they were in Jessica's room all talking, so I was like hanging out. So I was up a little bit late, like maybe like 1 or 2, something like that. And at this point, I was 38 weeks pregnant, 38, or no, 39. Yeah, it was August 30th. Oh my gosh, it's so confusing. It was 8 months ago. He's 8 months old now. So I was in there talking, and Castiel, he used to be active in the daytime, but then at this point in the pregnancy, it was like, he'd be pretty quiet during the day. He'd roll around and stuff, but not super often. But at nighttime, late in the night, like after midnight, he'd go crazy, rolling, kicking so much. And I was like, oh, wow, he's a night owl. He's up all night. So that was, I had always known like he's very active at night. So that night I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. He never really did much that night, so I didn't really like that. But I remember thinking like, that's weird, like whatever, I'll see you in the morning. So then I remember I was watching YouTube, and I was really having a hard time falling asleep. So I think I stayed up late, like maybe 4 or 5 or something, and he didn't kick. So I was like, this is so weird. I mean, maybe he did and I didn't notice, but I was paranoid. So then I finally got to sleep, and I slept until maybe 11 or something. I was starving. So my mom made me another English muffin with the bacon and egg, but we had run out of regular bacon, so I did it with turkey bacon. So the English muffin with bacon, the turkey bacon, and the egg, and then I think I put everything seasoned and nutritional yeast and like mayonnaise and butter. I don't know if I put each and every single one, but that's what I kind of did the day before. So I'm just gonna say that's what I put. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I'm not sure if it's exact, because I like the idea of like making that for breakfast on his birthday, so it's like a tradition. I think that'd be cute. So that's what I had for breakfast. And then I had these like fudge mint cookies. I had like 2 or 3 of those. And then, yeah, because I didn't know I was gonna be skipping lunch and dinner. I would have ate a big meal if I knew I was going into labor. So then I was like, okay, I've been awake, I ate my breakfast. Usually like if I eat, he'll start moving around. I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, it was starting to bother me. So then I was like, okay, mom has apple juice. So that's usually what does the trick. They say drink a glass of apple juice and lay down. I said I didn't notice any kicks, and I began to feel worried, especially because I just ate. So I had a glass of cold water, and I told my mom that he didn't really kick much. So then after that, nothing happened. I had a glass of iced apple juice because cold and sweet is what they want to get the kicks going. And then he got hiccups, but they said that those don't count. So we had like hiccups for like 2 minutes straight, and then that was it, and one kick. And I was like, okay, he's supposed to kick like 10 times in 2 hours, so this is not good. Like I was really getting concerned. The hiccups don't count because they're involuntary, and I thought it was strange because he usually has hiccups for like 10 minutes. And it's like they're like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a kick. I don't know if it's like his head or his butt or what was hitting me, but it's like a repetitive, rhythmic, like you're getting kicked or hit. So you can tell when it's hiccups and not kicks. But usually they're long, like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, waiting it out. But I thought it was weird because it was only for 2 minutes. So I was just really getting like, something's wrong. I laid down for maybe 20 minutes. And you're supposed to like they say lay down for like an hour, but I was getting so anxious. I have anxiety. So I was getting so anxious, and I was like really getting freaked out. I was like, he's not kicking. I can't just lay here and you do something. Plus it was like, at this point it's probably like 2 o'clock. So I was like, they're gonna close. Like they closed at like 4 or 5. I think it was Thursday when we went in. So yeah, I guess they closed at 4 or 5. So I laid down for like 20 minutes and he didn't move. So then my mom and I decided to go for a walk. So we went for a walk. We went all the way to like the front tree, Castiel, and all my kids and family will know what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna go into more detail because it's my parents' house. But there's like a tree halfway at the front driveway. So we walked to there and then we walked back to the house. Still nothing. So then when I got back inside, I chugged another glass of apple juice. Nothing happened. So then I had a third glass of apple juice and I got the sugar for the coffee and I just poured it in there and I just let it go. Just a bunch of sugar, stirred it up, drank it. And I think I laid down for maybe 20 minutes and I started to really freak out because it was almost 3 p.m. and the doctor's office would be closing soon. So I drank 3 glasses of apple juice and the third one I poured straight sugar into it and pee still was not kicking. So I was like, okay. I didn't want to call the doctors because they were going to make me come in, maybe go to the hospital, and I didn't want to go to the hospital. I was scared to do the hospital. But I was like, if I go to the doctor's office, it won't be like a big deal. They'll just check them up, like check them. But I was like, if I go to the hospital, they might try to keep me there, you know what I mean? Like, even if everything's fine, because people say that they like try to push injections on people, so I was like, I'm not ready for that. But I knew that I didn't trust, like I was nervous that something was wrong, so none of that mattered. I called the doctor. I'll get it up in here. It's of his kicks. I did the kick timer. So August 31st, it says the start time was at 3:50. That's bad. That's how long it took to get the things going. So yeah, they definitely were closing soon because it's like 4 and they close at 5 and I live 30 minutes away at least. Oh, so this is after I called the doctor. That's right, this is after I called the doctor. Okay, I called the doctor at 3:30 and she went and got the nurse. They told me I'd have to come into the hospital because of the time, like they were closing the office, so I'd have to come to the hospital. So at the very end, she was like, you're gonna have to come in the hospital, and I was like, oh, I don't like that, but okay, like I have to. And then at the end of the phone call, he kicked twice, and I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe he's gonna start kicking, like maybe everything's okay. So then I hung up, and then I told mom, so she started getting ready, getting her outfit on, so I laid down in the bed. That's when the thing went. Because I called at 3:30, it was a 20-minute phone call. Now I'm remembering. He kicked twice, but I wasn't sure, so I was just really overthinking it. But he definitely kicked twice. So I laid down to try and count the kicks. This was at 3:50 with the times. While my mom was getting dressed to take me to the hospital, so there was about 3 minutes of him not moving once I laid down. And then all of a sudden, he kicked 8 times. Like, boom, 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 kicked 8 times. And I was like, oh, he's fine. Like, he's literally fine. I was like, oh my gosh, like now I have to call, and now I need to call the doctor and say like he kicked, everything's fine, I don't need to come in. I said my 39-week appointment is tomorrow, so I'll just come tomorrow and everything's fine. Like I don't have to come today because he kicked, you're closing, I'm gonna go to the hospital, I'll go tomorrow, everything's good. So then I was outside because his car seat wasn't installed, like the basic car seat. I was like, well, we should probably, you know, that was a little scary, I guess. We should get the car seat installed, but I like couldn't figure it out. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go inside. It's too hot out here. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, basically. I'm huge. I don't need to be outside in August. So while I was doing that, my mom came running outside with my phone, and she was like, oh, the doctor here, it's the doctor's office, they're calling you. So I I get the phone. The nurse told me that the doctor didn't like that he had decreased movement, and she still wants me to come into the hospital. And at this point, I was freaking out, but I thought, it's okay, the baby's fine, so we'll go there, they'll see that he's okay, and they'll send me home. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I don't know if I was in denial, or, like, I had like a little feeling, but I thought like, no, there's no way, they're not gonna keep me, I'm gonna go home. So, it's like, okay, I haven't probably showered since I came to my mom's house. I think I showered the day before, yeah. I haven't showered those 2 nights. So like, I need to take a shower just in case. So I got in the shower and I just like rinsed my body off. I didn't wash my hair because I didn't want my hair to be crazy. Like, I took my shower, I got dressed, and then I quickly did my makeup. I wish I would have actually done like my full makeup, but I was like, they're gonna send me home. So I don't wanna like look like I did my, see, I overthink everything. I was like, I don't want to do a full face of makeup and look like I went full glam to go to the hospital to get sent home. Like that, like it's weird that I would do that. I don't know. I just overthink everything. So I just did like light, but in my head when I thought about going to the hospital, I was gonna have curled hair with my winged eyeliner. Maybe with the next one if I can have a natural labor. But yeah. At this point it was 4 p.m. and Aaron got up for work. So I guess he's, yeah, because he gets home from work at like 6:30ish. So like he sleeps, and then it was like 4 o'clock, so he was exhausted, so he slept in, which is actually good because, you know, the baby was born. And then I think I just texted him because I was just nervous. So I just texted him. I can put the text here. Okay, so I said around 5 p.m. me and my mom headed to the hospital and she drove. We got to the hospital and I only took in my phone and my wallet because I wasn't going to bring all that stuff in. I had the hospital bags in the car already because I thought just in case with this hurricane. I was at that point in pregnancy where I'm like, I'm 39 weeks just in case. I did not think I was going to have Castiel before his due date, maybe his due date or after, but not before. And also, I guess a good important thing to know is I think it's called bicornuate or something, uterus, and the doctor said that it's shaped like a heart. They told me this in the beginning of pregnancy, that it's shaped like a heart, so he might, you know, run out of room at the end of the pregnancy, have to get, you know, something, I don't know if she said emergency C-section, I think she did that because I'm scared of those, and then she said, or you might have to get induced because there's like, he's gonna run out of room and it could cause problems. Okay, so then the doctor told me that like one of the first or second appointments, and then nobody mentioned it, so I had to ask another doctor because I'm like, should we be talking to you about this? Like, somebody, but it was fine, but I was a little bit freaked out. So yeah, I don't know if that's what happened, or, you know, we'll see with the next one how far I make it. My mom and I went to the front desk, and then I had to run off to the bathroom to go pee because pregnant girls always gotta pee. So we signed in, and then when I came out of the bathroom, my mom was like with the nurse or somebody, whoever took me back, and she was like waiting me over to go. I filled out paperwork, and then they put on, you know, my hospital wristband. I think it was on this wrist. And then the nurse came with my mom to take me back to triage. I remember when we first walked in, it was like so weird. There's like the front desk, and then there was like a hallway. These were the rooms I was in, and then the bathroom was here, and then there was labor and delivery was this way. I didn't know that though, because I've never been in there before. I had to pee in the cup, which was fun to do. You can't really see over your huge stomach, you know. And then I went, they said go to room 3. I guess that's kind of weird, room 3, room with triplet. Not really, but I like that, that's kind of cool. Okay, so I got undressed to put the hospital gown on, and then I laid in the bed, and then we waited for a nurse to come in, and then she hooked me up to a machine. So I was on the bed, and then the thing was next to me with the machine, with the things on my stomach that everybody shows that takes the heartbeat, and then there's another one for contractions, and this was like 6 p.m. His heartbeat was strong on the monitor, so that was a huge relief because I didn't know like how he was doing. And then they said they monitored me for 30 minutes, and they brought me iced apple juice. So it's like this little cup. I don't know if I got a video of it, but it was a cup with like a peeling foam, not foam, what's that called? Tinfoil type of, like a foil lid. So I drank that, downed it quick probably, and then he got hiccups. Of course, he got hiccups all the time, and after Like once he was born, he had a lot of hiccups, but he had so many hiccups when I was pregnant that I was like Googling it. But everything was fine. I asked the doctor and they like were not concerned at all. But you know, when you look up stuff online, they make it seem worse than it is. But then he was moving around like crazy. He was kicking and rolling and bouncing off the walls. Like literally he went crazy. So I don't know what they have in their apple juice that wasn't in mine, but it did the job. So that was good. So that made me feel so much better because I was like, okay, he's good. Like he's literally fine. I actually started to get contractions, and I had a couple times Braxton Hicks when I was in bed. So I remember one time I was in the bed in here in this room. This is me and Aaron's bedroom, and I started the timer because I was like, oh my gosh, you know, just making sure. And then I had like 2 or 3 and then I fell asleep. But I had literally started getting contractions and they kind of hurt, but I was like, are those contractions? And my mom was like, it's showing up on the screen because they have it on the chart. It's like a red line and then a number, and it literally shows like up and down for your contractions. I could feel my stomach like tightening, and then it was ligament pain sensation down the right side of my belly, like a sharp stretching pain. That's what I said. I just remembered that it hurt. It said, yeah, strong stretching pain sounds accurate. It hit like a 20 or something, so she's like, you're literally having contractions. Oh. And I thought they were Braxton Hicks. I mean, I guess they could have been because they are technically practice contractions, but either way, they were contractions. So then the nurse came back and said everything looked good for both me and the baby. And then they had sent me to get an ultrasound. So like there's when you walk in, it was I just like to visualize it so I can remember, even though it might be hard to like see the image in my head because I didn't get a video to remember. I don't think you're allowed to do that. So I got the front people, room 3 over here. Here's the bathroom. You walk this way, and then over here, past the desk, there's the room for the ultrasound. So I went in there, and I got it done, and they had the screen like behind me. I guess they do it on purpose, but I was so sad because I wanted to be able to see him one last time. The last time I saw him was the anatomy scan, literally 19 weeks ago, which is like, it's sad you don't get to see your baby after that. So I remember trying to look back, but I wasn't able to. And the girl like didn't say anything to me, and it made me nervous because I'm like, okay, why is she not saying that? Like she's not saying anything, or maybe she's not allowed to. Maybe only the doctor can. I don't know. But I was like, not gonna like give me anything. Like, is something wrong? Like, why is she not? She was like silent. So that I didn't like that. So then I laid back in the bed, and then I think Julia called my mom because she was at work, and she was like, why are you at the hospital? But yeah, and then I don't know, and then I think she started calling everybody. Oh, another thing, Jessica went on a trip to Chicago. That's why Riley, my cousin, was there, and so she left on the 30th. So the night before, she said, you know, bye, and then she said to Castiel in my tummy, she was like, something, I would wait till I get back, basically. And I was like, okay. So then she like hugged me and left. She flew out that day, and she was in Chicago at like 7:30. We were still waiting in the room, and then finally the doctor came. I think it was Dr. Hendricks, and she came in, and immediately she said that I wasn't going home until I had my baby. And I was terrified. I was like, oh, okay, that's not really, you know, how I thought this was gonna go, but I guess that's fine. You know, I would have liked to go back home, but yeah. Okay, so I was thinking I'll be here a couple days, you know, I'll be here a week at most, you know, well, you know, whatever, because I was due literally in 7 days. And then shortly into that conversation, she says they'll be inducing me tomorrow. So at that point, I'm freaking out because I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're inducing me tomorrow? I came in here, everything's good, send me home. I'm not ready for this. I was literally like, I was really trying not to cry because I didn't want to cry in front of the doctor, but I was really trying not to cry because I was like, this is like not how it was supposed to happen, but it never happens rarely does it happen how people expect it to. But I was like, this isn't like what it was gonna be like. I'm not ready for this. I didn't have a choice though, but yeah. So I was like, oh, great lady, thanks. I loved the doctor though. Like I loved her. when I saw her at the appointments, I thought she was really nice. Yeah, so I liked that doctor at the appointments, but I was like so mad. I was so annoyed that she said I had to get induced, but it all worked out. So then she checked my cervix, which was horrible. Like, I was like gripping the bed and I was like, oh god, it was horrible, it was so bad. So she checked me and she said I was 0 centimeters, so like completely shut, not dilated at all. I'm like, oh, that's not really good either, like, because I have to give birth tomorrow, or I guess it could have been the next day, but pretty much tomorrow. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then I texted Aaron and I said, you know, leave work right now, come to the hospital. I'm, you know, getting induced. So, and then I wanted Aaron to come to the hospital, but he was like, earlier before we had left to go, because I was saying like, you want to like come meet us, and he was like, it should be fine. But I kind of wanted him to come just in case. And then he told me like later on, like after, he was like, oh yeah, I had a feeling that I wasn't gonna be at work like for the full shift, like that something that was gonna happen. Like maybe when I told him that, or when he went to work, he had that feeling. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, like you shouldn't let me there, just because I want him with me all the time. Like that guy was like, did I do something wrong? I called the doctor and like he started moving, so it's like, did I do something wrong by calling the doctor, and now they're gonna force me to give birth to him and I'm not even due yet and he's fine? Then I felt like, oh no, now I literally don't have the choice, I have to give birth to him. What if this is like, I don't know, I just felt like guilty, I guess, which I shouldn't, because I had to make sure that he was okay. But just like, you know, what if I did something wrong by doing this? I couldn't get that like out of my head, you know. I was not mentally ready to give birth and had been terrified of it my whole life, and I thought I had more time to become brave and prepared for it, but you're never really ready, I guess. I remember thinking, because you hear everything about childbirth, I'm not trying to scare people, but it's so much worse than you can imagine. Not actually giving birth was, I'll get to that. It's postpartum that was bad, but like that's where I was scared of too, because I have really bad sensory issues, so I was nervous to be like on my period for 6 weeks wearing these massive pads and like having soreness and all that to deal with down there and not feeling like myself. So I was already worried about it. So my whole life I was like nervous, like I need to mentally prepare, because I didn't know about the whole postpartum deal until like later on, because you don't know that when you're like a little kid. So I was just scared to like push the baby out, because like some people have to push like 2-3 hours, and then labor is obviously horrible, but mine didn't go like a normal one. So anyways, I remember thinking I literally need to mentally prepare before I get pregnant. Like I need to mentally prepare before I decide to have kids, that I'm like, okay, I feel I can give birth, you know what I mean? So that was like a long time thing. But then with Castiel, I knew I wanted to have him, and so I was like, it's fine, like I can give birth, it'll all be worth it, you know. Sometime at 7, they took me in to labor and delivery, walked me down the hallway. Some nurse named Sonia came and brought us. And so we walk in, and I look at the thing. I think I got a video of it. It's probably in the birth plot. I'm sure it is if I have the video. And it said L&D, or labor and delivery or something. 15. I'm like, stop. Because 15 has always been my favorite number. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's a sign from God that everything's gonna be okay. I didn't make a mistake, and this is how it was meant to happen. Which I feel like if things happen a certain way, it's not really a mistake. Like that's what God meant to happen, you know. So that gave me a lot of reassurance. So I was relieved that it said 15. I was like, okay, that's a little sign. That I don't know how many rooms they have for labor and delivery. Say they have 30. Even just getting that specific number, I feel like that was God. I don't feel like it was a coincidence. I think that, like, what are the chances of that? Even if it was 20, like, you know, like that's kind of crazy to me. So I knew that God was with me through the experience. Okay, so then the nurse gave me these wipes that I had to wipe down my whole body with, and I didn't like them. Like, I already took a shower. I think it's to make you like sterile, I guess, but it was like kind of like achy feeling on my skin, and so I don't like that. But so me and my mom went to the bathroom, and I had to wipe my whole body down. And then I laid back in the bed, and then the nurse came in. So there's the bed, there's like the chairs over here, the bathroom's over here, and then the cart and stuff with the computers and stuff. So then the nurse asked me a bunch of questions, and then she hooked me up to the same machines as before for the heartbeat and contractions. And then my mom started calling all my sisters and telling them that we were in the hospital. And I was still at this point holding back my tears because I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I couldn't believe it. So Aaron got to the hospital at 9:40 p.m. So then right after Aaron got there, they did the Servidil, which is like, they call it like a shoelace of medicine. So it's this scratchy string, I guess, that's what they say. And they put it up, down there. So it was, the nurse had trouble doing that, so that was not fun. But you know, they did what they had to do, and then that basically, they call it ripening. This is so gross, but ripening the cervix so it dilates so you can give birth. So that's what that was. So they did that at like 9:40 p.m. So then me and Aaron were just hanging out, and I think my dad came. He did, because he got checkers, because he did that when my mom was in labor with Jessica, my oldest sister. He was really hungry, so he stopped to Checkers and got a cheeseburger while my mom was in labor, because it's across from the hospital. So he went there that night. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, he came and saw me and then left. I was on this like couch thing, chair thing next to me. It was like a chair that you had to like lean back. But so he was next to me, and I kept telling him to push it all the way up next to the bed so I could be close to him, because I wanted to like at least hold his hand or something. But there, the whole night I couldn't, because it was like I had to stretch my arm out over the thing. It was so comfortable. There's like a TV in front, so I was like, let's watch a movie, and we watched A Dog's Purpose. That's the movie we watched. And then I tried to sleep, because the night before I didn't get great sleep, so I was like, let me try to sleep, you know, let me try to get a nap in. And I couldn't fall asleep for the life of me. I don't sleep well almost ever, unless I'm like seriously exhausted or sleep deprived. But I literally can't fall asleep. Even sometimes if I'm sleep deprived, I don't know why. Like, I'll be exhausted, haven't slept in however many hours, like, and I literally won't be able to fall asleep. It's a nightmare. When we were watching the movie, okay, so in the beginning I had those contractions, right, on my stomach, but then they did the Servidil, so I was actually, you know, going into labor, and it was all back labor. I was like, dude, I always imagined like it was gonna be my tummy. It was all back. I didn't feel anything in my stomach. It was back pain from you know where. So people say like, oh, it's like diarrhea cramps. So it could be, because if you haven't had them in a while, like you can't really remember what they feel like, but then you get them and you're like, oh yeah, these are bad. So it's like those, but like times a million or something, like really a lot more intense, yeah. And then also like period cramps, but like I get back pain on my period, so it's kind of like the back pain that you get, but worse. It was really intense. So I was like, okay, I just kept saying Aaron, and he's like, what? Like, it hurts so bad. Like, it was like I can't even like sit here and lay here. I'm like, I wish I would have gotten up to walk, but I was hooked up to the machine still, so I like didn't think I could, but I wish I would have. I don't necessarily regret it. I just think it would have been nice, like for the pain. I guess maybe I didn't feel comfortable because the Servidil thing. I don't know. It didn't even cross my mind, but I feel like it could have helped with the pain. Anyways, but I kept saying, Aaron, it hurts so bad. He's like, I'm sorry. But yeah, so they brought me these little heat packs to put on my back. They lasted like 2 minutes. It was a joke, like seriously. So I was really not having a good time. So at 12:30 midnight, I was having bad back pain. They gave me the heat packs, and then at 12:48, I think she gave me Benadryl because I couldn't fall asleep. She literally gave me Benadryl and I couldn't fall asleep. That was fun. Oh my gosh, wait, no. At 12:48, she gave me an actual sleeping pill. And then I couldn't fall asleep. So then when she came back in and I was in a bunch of pain, she gave me Benadryl so I could try to fall asleep. Once the movie was over, we were flipping through the channels, and then Friends was on. Literally the episode where Rachel is giving birth. And I'm like, that's so weird. Like, all the episodes that it could have been, it's the episode that she's giving birth, and it's not like a specific thing to the hospital. It's like just regular TV channels. So I was like, this is so weird. It was like cable, yeah. So that was cool. And then, okay, this was at 1:30. I like couldn't handle it, so I was like, we need to get the nurse in here. Like, I'm in so much pain. So I think we called the nurse in, and I was just like, she could tell, you know, I can't sit still, I'm in so much pain. So she's like, do you want some pain medication? I was like, yeah, please. She got the medicine and they put it through the IV, which I guess I didn't realize they were gonna do that. And it was the weirdest feeling. She said before she gave it to me, like, you're gonna feel dizzy and nauseous, but you know, it just like takes a minute. But so they put the thing in the IV, it goes like straight into my bloodstream, and it was like my whole body went like hot, and it felt so weird. And then I got extremely dizzy and like really like sleepy, and it was just like the weirdest feeling. But it was nice. It helped me feel better after like a few minutes. I wasn't in so much pain. It made me really sleepy, like I couldn't keep my eyes open at first when they first gave it to me. It's like, okay, now is the time. I need to try to fall asleep while all these drugs hit my system and I can take a nap, because sleeping pill and Epidural didn't work. So I tried to fall asleep and I just like was tossing and turning, basically, not literally, but you know, I couldn't fall asleep. I kept trying to sleep, but the pain was so bad that I couldn't. And then slowly the medication started wearing off, which sucked. At 3:30 I had to go pee, so I think the nurse had to unhook me from the stuff, and then I went to the bathroom. So they said not to wipe because you can pull the cervical string. And so I just patted like they said, but somehow it got stuck, and I felt a little bit of a tug on the thing, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because if it's not all the way up to the cervix, it's not gonna work properly. So then I didn't want to, like I told the nurse, and she was kind of rude to me, and I was like, okay, don't be nasty, Miss Girl, like. But so I told her, but like I accidentally, I guess, tugged it. She said something like, do you think that it like went far or something like that? And I was like, I have no idea. And she's like, well, something, if it's not whatever, like if it's not all the way up there basically, then it's not gonna work. And something, she said something like, okay, like you're gonna be here anyway for work, like why is it an issue if I give birth a little bit later? Chill the hell out. And I was like, you were inducing me tomorrow, so I don't get what you're talking about, girly pop. But anyway, so she was rude, it pissed me off. I wanted more pain meds, and she said, well, we have to wait till this time, and I have to check how dilated you are to give you more, and then I have to reinsert the cervidil. And they had a real hard time getting it up there, so she, like, I could tell she didn't want to, but I'm like, this is your job, like, anyways. So I was like, oh, okay, like, I'll just wait, like, I guess it's fine, whatever, like, I don't really have a choice, because it was really hard for them to get that. No. Anyways, you get the point. I was like just laying there. An hour and 6 minutes later, so 4:36 a.m. a little bit before this, I'm laying there with Bubba. Well, he's in his chair, but I felt like a pop. I thought, in my head, I felt like a pop. I was like, that was weird. And then it was a couple minutes after that. It wasn't like right away. A couple minutes after that, psh, my water broke, and dude, like you can imagine it, I guess, but it just keeps going, and it's like such a large amount. Like it was like shooting out so much. It was a lot. It just kept going. So I was like, Aaron, my water broke. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So they called the nurses, and we said my water broke, and they came running in there. But because you know they have to put stuff on the bed because it's like now it's wet. But I was so happy that my water broke naturally, because I think my mom had to get hers like broken by the doctor each time. It never like did it on its own. Mine did it because of the cervidil, but I was so excited because I got to experience that. I was happy about that it happened naturally and they didn't have to do it. So 2 nurses came in. The other nurse that came in, the girl that I hadn't met before, she was so helpful. Bless her heart. So my contractions became extremely intense. They were so bad. I don't know if they had put me on Pitocin yet because they were inducing me. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm pretty sure I was, because they were so bad. I don't know, but it was like this is what I said. I burst into tears when they started again. So like it stopped and then it started again, and I literally just started crying because it was too much. It hurt so freaking bad. So then they tried to distract me by like telling me stories and like talking to me, asking me questions and stuff. So then I was in the bed. I had my knees like this, and the other nurse, the second girl, they did the counter pressure thing, which I had heard about. So she pushed on my knees each time I got the contraction, and I don't know why, but it worked and it helped a lot. I was like, wow, that's some serious pain relief right there. So it helped me get through them because they were like unbearable. They were pretty bad. the nurse asked if I wanted the epidural because she had just checked me again. It's like I was 1.5. Did I say? No, let me find it. Let me make sure. I want it to be accurate. So at 5:30 in the morning, I was 1.5 centimeters. So she asked me like, oh, do you want the epidural now? Because I just like couldn't handle it anymore. And I had those labor combs that you're supposed to go like this on, and do crap for me. I was like, this thing isn't working. I was so mad. I don't know if it's because I had Pitocin or because they say Pitocin is bad. I really want to see how it goes next time. Like, I'm really curious. But yeah, so those did not work for me because people swear by those. I'm like, nope, didn't do anything. And I'm still kind of in early labor. I mean, my water broke, but I wasn't that dilated. So I don't know. Because I felt like I had a somewhat good pain tolerance. I'm not like an absolute baby, but I'm also not super tough either. They ordered the epidural, and so they have to, when you get the epidural, you have to get a thing of, like you have to get a full thing of fluids from the IV. So they had to do that first. I was really scared that I wasn't going to be able to sit still by the time that people got there because they were so intense. Like, I was like, how am I supposed to sit still? I'm in so much pain. So yeah, but then the two guys came in, and it was a super tall, like, white guy, and then there was an Indian guy. I don't know their names, but that's what they looked like, so I can remember in my head. They came in and talked to me, and then they had me sit at the edge of the bed to get it. I think I was at this edge, so like all my feet were like this, and they had me at the very edge for my back. I think I had a pillow, I don't remember. So I sat at the back of the bed, and I had to round my back, and then they sterilized the whole area of my back, and then the nurse warned me that the numbing shot stings for a few seconds after they inject you. So I was relieved that, like, she warned me because I wouldn't, I don't know, have thought, I guess. I just thought it'd be the pain of the needle. I don't know if she lied. I don't know if she was lying to me, but I didn't feel anything. Like, it didn't hurt. Like, it was, I felt the needle, but it wasn't like a bunch of stinging because she acted like it was bad, but I don't know. That's just what she told me. I was like, I don't know if she's lying right now because that didn't happen. But I was like, hey, I have no complaints here if it didn't sting, you know? So they gave me the numbing shot. And I was waiting for it to sting, but then it never did. And I was like, oh, okay. So then they were literally about to put the epidural in. Of course, the freaking contraction came. And I was like, wait, stop, I have a contraction. So they said that they wanted to do it between if they could. So they waited it out. It passed. And then the anesthesiologist, is that the right name? I don't know if that's the right name for this person. But whoever it was, they did the epidural. And it felt like, in my head, it's like a balloon and then a really long needle, and it went right into the balloon, like the balloon pops, but like it just goes in the balloon. That's how I saw it in my head when it happened. That's exactly how it felt. So it didn't really hurt that bad. It's kind of like if my back was a balloon and you just put a needle in it, like you pop it. I don't know. I can't get that image of that out of my head. That's exactly how it felt. It wasn't as painful as I expected it to be. So like it felt weird, but it was like really quick. And I didn't think they were done. Like, I didn't know that they had done the whole process because it was like the balloon thing, that's what I felt, and it was like they were done. And I was like, oh wow, that was it. Like, it's over, because I was still kind of bracing myself for the epidural because I feel like people act like it's so bad, but it wasn't bad. I was really nervous to get the epidural. Like, I knew I had to get it. Like, I knew personally, I needed the epidural. I'm a lot less scared of that needle than, you know, pushing the baby out, feeling every single contraction up until that, and then, you know, God forbid, you rip when you're pushing, you have to get stitched up. Like, you can feel that. Like, I don't know, like the ring of fire, all of that. I'm gonna take the epidural, please, thank you. I knew I'd rather get the epidural than go through that personally. But good for the people that could do it naturally. That's amazing. I used to think maybe I would want to try that, but I'm like, I don't think it's for me. I'm okay. You know, it explains the medicine button and the epidural to me. So you have a button, you click it as much as you want, and it'll give you the medication, but it has a limit. So like, you keep clicking it, it's not gonna like overdose you. So then I think they taped it on my back because it's like a catheter thing, not a catheter, but whatever it is, the little tube. It stays in your back to administer the medicine periodically and stuff. So they have to tape it to me. That was 5:30 a.m. So give or take, these times were not fully accurate. I asked the nurses if they would change positions with me through the rest of the process because I had the epidural, so I need help, but like it helps the baby labor down if you change your positions. It keeps them, you know, moving down where they're supposed to go. And they said, oh, they're like, we were already planning on doing that. Okay. I was like, okay, good. So they changed my positions with the peanut ball, and at one point they had me on my hands and knees on a blow-up thing on the bed. That was interesting, but I mean, it all was kind of like a blur. Like it kind of went by so fast, you know. Plus, I was trying to sleep. I didn't sleep the whole night. I literally did not sleep the whole night. It was bad. I tried, but I couldn't. And then I said, since it was getting closer to push time, my mom asked what I wanted to do. Oh, what I wanted them to do. So Aaron's mom came and she brought Aaron breakfast. I was so jealous. I wanted to eat so bad. And the nurse, the night before when I was going into labor, she asked me if I wanted to eat, but out of all the food allergies and stuff that I didn't want to bother with it, I was like, I think I'll be okay. But then I was hungry. I had meat sticks that I brought. I think I had like 1 or 2. Which I'm glad I brought those. I'll do it again next time because it was nice. And then they had like juice, I think, and then like ice and stuff for me, so I was good. So his mom was there with my mom. My mom had got there at some point. I don't remember. It's like all such a blur. But so they were sitting on the chairs, and then Aaron was next to me. So my mom was like, what do you want? What do you want us to do? Like my mom and Aaron's mom. And I was like, y'all can stay. Y'all can stay. And in my head, like, I don't know when I decided that, but I was like, I don't want anybody in the room except Aaron. I want it to be just me and Aaron for the birth. Like I had thought that for, you know, at least since the beginning of the pregnancy. I just like wanted it to be like an intimate moment, the 2 of us, you know what I mean? But I was like, I don't care, y'all can stay. And I actually wanted both of them there. Like once I was actually there, I was like, yeah, y'all can be there. Because I did not want my mom to leave. I was like, I need my mommy. And I love Aaron's mom, so I was like, it would probably be a nice experience, you know, seeing your grandkid being born. Not like seeing it, but being in the room. I was like, she can stay. You know, she deserves it. She's a good mother-in-law. But yeah. 9:28 a.m. I was 6 centimeters dilated, and then at 11:21 a.m. they checked me and I was 9 centimeters. So then after that, my mom said, oh my gosh, Sophia, he could be born at the same time you were. Because I was born at 12:41. So I'm a triplet, like I said earlier. So there's Julia, Olivia, and me, Sophia. So Julia was born at 12:38, Olivia was born at 12:40, and I was born at 12:41. And my whole life, I was like, that's so weird. Like, why wasn't it, like, why is there a gap? Like, why weren't we all born then after each other? You know what I mean? Like, it's not that serious. Like, it's a C-section. Like, they probably just got busy with one or the other, with Julia or whatever happened. They had trouble getting Olivia out. I don't know. But I always was like, why is there a gap? It's so weird. But anyways, I was like, there's no way I'll be dilating all the way and pushing him and have him out by 12:41 because that's like an hour and 20 minutes, literally. I was like, no, there's no way. And she said, you could. I was like, okay. So then at 12:30, the doctor comes in and says it's time to push. Oh, before this, Aaron's mom and my mom were talking, and one of them said, oh good, she's sleeping or something, like, you know, getting rest, like there I was sleeping. And I was laying there, I was like, I wish I went. I just had my eyes closed. I don't know at what time it was, but it was like maybe like an hour or 2 before, you know, time to push. I started feeling contractions again. I'm pressing the epidural all day, like, why isn't this working? Like, I've been pressing the button, why do I still feel this? But, you know, you feel the pressure down there. And then I was full strength contractions, like as intense as they were as when I was getting the epidural and I like couldn't handle it. They were full strength. It's like, I have the epidural right now. Like, my legs were numb. Like, I was like, what's going on? Like, why can't I feel these? But because I thought, like, you get the epidural, you're done. You don't feel the contractions at all. It's over, that part, and you know, you have your epidural. I didn't know that you can feel them you do feel them at the end, or at least I did. So I was like, oh wow. So then, yeah, the contractions were going. Anyways, so the doctor comes in and she's like, all right, it's time to push. And I was like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't want to do this. I didn't say that, I just got it. And I was like, okay, like, I guess, you know, now or never, right? So 12:30, I started pushing. So she explains the process to me. And I start pushing with each contraction you're supposed to push. So I guess they were watching for them, and then they would tell me to push. So I took a big breath in, I would hold my breath, and then push hard 3 times per contraction. I guess they were long contractions that I could push that many times for each one. And then I felt all the contractions. They already said that. So then the doctor asked if I wanted to feel his head. So I reached down. It was like soft, but it was like wet because it has like the, what's it called? Amniotic fluid, but there's something else. I don't know. Meconium? I don't know if that's the right word. But like the gunk that they have on them. And I was like, ah, it's like slimy. But it was cool that I got to like touch his head. I liked it. So then they also asked me if I wanted the mirror to like wash it. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm rather fine. Like, I'm good. So then, yeah. So then the doctor, I told the doctor like I want him to be placed on my chest right away when he's born, like during that process. And then so, you know, she took that in mind, whatever. So I kept pushing and I felt his body coming out. But then something happened with his shoulder. His shoulder got stuck in there. And they were having trouble getting him out. I'm like, oh my gosh, his story stuck. But I had literally felt the body coming out, his body. So he didn't just slide out. I had to keep, you know, pushing because he was stuck. Oh man. So yeah, okay, I'll get to that. Okay, then at 12:39, he was born. I didn't realize it till later when we asked, like probably 20-30 minutes later. We asked like, oh, what time was he born? Julia Olivia Sophia, 12:38. 12:39, the gap. He filled the freaking gap. He was born at the gap time. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's insane. Like, that's absolutely a sign from God. Like, that is just crazy. So he was born at 12:39. That was just incredible. I was so happy about that. And I heard the next day or something like that, when Paisley was at school, some kid asked her what time it was and she said 12:39. So like, that's weird. And Jessica texted at 12:39, does anybody have an update? So all of that was really awesome. Doctor quickly wiped him down and then she, it cut me off because it was such a long clip. So then she put him on my chest and I immediately started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, oh my god. My first thought, now this is a little bit weird. My first thought when I saw him, like immediate 1 second reaction was, he kind of looks Asian because his eyes looked a little bit Asian. I was like surprised, and then he had like all this black hair and he was like, oh, he's my little baby. It was so sweet. After a little bit, Aaron cut the cord. Then they asked permission to weigh him and then give him a shot, and they bring him back right back. I was like, like, yeah, that's fine. I didn't really want them to take him from me, but it was gonna be quick, so I was like, whatever, it's okay. So I watched them bring him to the corner with like the, you know, the thing. And then they brought him back, and then I held him, and then I breastfed him because I wanted to do the whole golden hour thing. And then he latched right away. I was like, wow, this kid's a genius. Like, he already knows what to do. So after all that happened, I think my mom and Aaron's mom like left. I don't know where they went, but I don't remember them being there, so I think they went out. Maybe to get my dad, or I don't know what they did. I don't remember. There was too much going on. I just pushed him out. And yeah, I thought I might be pushing for like an hour at least, but I pushed him out in 9 minutes. I don't know. Oh, I did my raspberry leaf tea and I did my dates, and I swear by them I will absolutely be doing them again. I literally got a food scale and weighed out and made sure I had at least 80 grams a day, because they say 6 large ones. I'm like, okay, but the scientific study says 80 grams. I need 80 grams. So I did that, and I did my raspberry leaf tea. I had skipped a couple days because I was nervous about making myself go into labor because of hurricane, even though they're not like labor inducers technically, but I was nervous, so I just skipped it. Oh yes, okay, let me continue. So I pushed him out in 9 minutes, and that was just, I didn't know it was 9 minutes. I thought it was like at least half an hour or something, because you know there's a lot going on. But I was like, dang, I did that. Because I definitely thought I'd be pushing for like 30, 45 or an hour at least, you know. But so that was really nice. Also, next pregnancy, I want to walk every day and stuff like that, because I was not active with this one. I was exhausted. I worked up until maybe 7 or 8 months or something like that, so I was exhausted. So then I just, you know, kicked back, sat on the couch, watched my shows, and tried to, you know, relax a little bit. But next pregnancy, I want to go for walks and stay active, because I feel like that would be good too. But I think it was when they did the shots and stuff. I had a 2nd degree tear, which was like my biggest fear, was that I was going to tear. Like, I was terrified. I'm so thankful and so glad that it was only 2nd degree. I wish it was like a minor one, but you know, it's okay. I was so scared to do that. Like, that was my biggest fear of pregnancy and postpartum, was tearing. So I was not happy about the whole 2nd-degree tear thing. But I literally think, one, if you push too fast, which I forgot because I wasn't even thinking about that. If you push too fast, it stretches too fast, and that can cause it to tear. And also, you know, if your baby's big, but he wasn't like abnormally big or anything like that. Or what happened, I think what did me in was his shoulder got stuck. So I think it ripped on the way out. So yeah. So they took him to the thing over there, and Aaron was over there with him. And so the doctor stitched me up. So I had the epidural, so I couldn't fully feel it, but I could feel what she was doing, but it wasn't painful. So they had to stitch me up. They finished that, gave me the baby back. I got the glove on him, and then my mom and Aaron's mom left at some point, like I said. And I was still holding Castiel, and Aaron called like on the hospital phone, and he ordered me the hospital food, and they brought me, I got chicken. The camera died again, but they brought me my food, and it was the chicken tenders with fruit, and then I don't remember, maybe mashed potatoes, I don't remember. I have it in the birth vlog though. So I was so happy I got to eat my food. So then I gave Castiel to Aaron. Well, probably he more got him for me because I couldn't stand up and walk. But Aaron, I said, you can do skin to skin. So he took his shirt off, and he was, you know, holding him all swaddled up, and it was so cute. So I just got to watch them snuggle up. It was sweet. Chicken tenders with honey mustard and fruit cup. I guess it may have just been that. I think I just ordered that because I didn't want. I was just hungry. Because you could get 2 sizes of blah blah blah. Anyways, I was so hungry. Those were so good. I was so excited about that. Chicken tenders with honey mustard. Oh my gosh. And then the nurse brought a wheelchair because they have to wheel me to the postpartum, which is like another area of the hospital. So then you have to go to the bath. They have to know that you go pee after you give birth. They have to make sure. So I went to the bathroom. I didn't really have to pee, but I guess I went because she let me go, like free to go. Brought me, I sat down in the wheelchair, and then Aaron had to get all the stuff on a cart or something, and then I think I was holding Castiel when she wheeled me through the hospital. It's time again. I'm almost done with the story. Wheeled me to the postpartum room. I'll put the number because I like stuff like that. I want to remember. But and I held Castiel. I confirmed it on here, and then Aaron walked by my side. And the rest of it is just, you know, postpartum gore that I probably don't want to remember because it was really hard. I'm laughing because it's like trauma, but it's a lot more, it's just a lot worse than you could ever imagine. So I'm like, mothers should be respected for that sacrifice that they do to bring life into the world, and you know, it's all worth it. But yeah, it's a lot worse than you can imagine. For real. But yeah, so we were there for 2 nights, and then it was really hard. But I knew I needed my mom to come back with me and help out because I like couldn't walk, and it was really stressful. And you know, it's postpartum with a newborn. It's hard, especially for first-time parents. So my mom came and stayed with us for a while, and so we came home. I'm just gonna film the rest of this on the phone. This is like random rest of the night, rest of the week that's not exactly as significant as the birth story. But so we came back to the apartment. It's hot. What was it, like September 3rd? Got back to the apartment. We live on the 3rd floor, no elevator. That sucked. But we made it up the stairs, slowly but surely. It took me a long time. It was rough. Yeah, but we made it up there. And we get inside, and there's like water on the floor, and we're like, what the hell's that? Like, why is there water out of the fridge? So our electrical here is messed up, and our fridge was shut off for who knows how long, and all of our food was bad because the fridge was broken, like turned off. It was like a glitch in the electrical thing. We had to like flip the breaker all the time because it would always do that to us. It's so annoying. Anyways, so yeah, we come home from the hospital. I had a newborn baby, and all of our food is gone bad. We had to throw it all out. So I sat on the couch, maybe with Castiel, or he was in his playpen, so one of the other. And Aaron and my mom were like so mad. And then, well, Aaron was mad at me. My mom was probably just thinking that this sucks. So they cleaned out the fridge, like threw everything away, fridge and freezer. My mother-in-law, Aaron's mom, bought us a full fridge and freezer's worth of groceries. She did a Kroger delivery. So now, one thing, that was amazing. Another thing, now we know we like Kroger, and we're gonna probably do that, get Kroger delivery all the time because it's really convenient. But she literally the next day is when it got delivered, I'm pretty sure. Next day or the next couple days, I'm pretty sure it was the next day though. The whole kitchen, because I couldn't walk at this point. Like getting from here to the couch, it was a little apartment, took me like 5 minutes probably, because it was really bad. Come on, you have to see this before I put this stuff away. So I walk out and I remember my jaw dropped because the whole like cubicle of our kitchen was stuffed, like full on the counter, so many grocery bags, and I was like, wow, like she's an angel. Bless her heart. That was incredible. But yeah. And then after that, the rest is history. I took a lot of videos as much as I could to get like little bits and pieces to remember, but yeah. That's pretty much the first story. The rest is history, you know? Yeah. Oh, also, he had jaundice. The pediatrician came in and said something about his jaundice, and I'm like, nobody told me he had jaundice, what do you mean? Because she was acting like I already knew. But yeah, so he was like like a little orange. Not orange. I thought of him as a little carrot. He looked like a little carrot because he was so orange. So we had him like lay like in the window, and not in the window, but right next to the window in his playpen. And then my mom had pushed his pack and play up to the doors because we have a window in the living room, and so he sunbathed a little bit to help with that. And then by his pediatrician appointment, whatever it was, I don't know if it was the same day or the week, whatever it was, not really important. The doctor said that he looked so much better that she's not even getting tested for jaundice, and he was good. So yeah, that was one thing I want to remember. Another thing I want to remember is he's like my little polar bear, because Aaron's like a brown bear or a black bear, more so brown bear, because he has that look, you know. I would say I'm a panda bear, and so I was like, he's my little polar bear. Koalas are different. They're technically bears, but like they're like different. I don't know about that. I don't really care for them as much. But I love pandas and brown bears. I love brown bears. So Castiel is my polar bear. So I got polar bear blankets from the hospital and everything that we brought. But he came out, and there was this onesie, my absolute favorite onesie. I'll put a picture of it in a minute. It was like a sleeper onesie. It was like fleece, and not onesie, a sleeper. And it had like polar bears and penguins. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like a little penguin, this kid. Because he's supposed to be a polar bear, but he like, if I had to pick an animal that he's like reminds me of at that time, like the little newborn with his like cute little nose and all the black hair he had. He's a little penguin. That's what I was thinking in my head, is my little penguin. So that's a cute little memory that I'd like to remember. But yeah, oh, I can't wait to go see him. My mom's watching him for me and move out, so oh, I miss him. I never had a night away from him, but last night I came and deep cleaned the whole apartment by myself. So yeah, I'm so excited to go back and see him. I feel like crying. I miss him. But yeah, that's his birth story. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope it was enjoyable. I'm glad that I did this, because the longer I waited, the less I would remember. Next time I'll do it when I'm starting to feel more like myself postpartum, probably around like 4 months. But yeah. Okay, well, that's it. Bye.